Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic, wonderful day. Today's video is going to be about the potential for a tropical system. Right now it's an invest. You could see in the National Hurricane Center has a 50% chance of developing into something of a tropical disturbance in the next 5 days. So this is definitely something we need to talk about, and if you want to stay tuned and catch the latest updates off my channel, I would really recommend consider subscribing to my channel. Helps you get the information quicker, and if you're always also at that, you could hit the like button, also helps out a lot. So thank you for that if you have done so. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a heat wave going on. There's a cold front right now spinning across the eastern half of the country, and this cold front may be the Lord and Savior for the East Coast when it comes to basically shooing away this hurricane from the coast. So not hurricane, this tropical system. So you can see disturbance 1 has a 20% chance of development in the next 48 hours. And basically this is going to be tracking somewhere right along here, but then the cold front is dragged right along here somewhere, and it's going to be moving out to the east into the ocean while this is moving forward. Then this will kind of do a little turn up, and it gets dragged away. Most likely at this point gets dragged away by the cold front into the seas. And again, this poses not major threats for the actual U.S. coast, because this may develop close to the U.S. coast, but it may not impact it as a direct hit. But I also want to tell you guys, you could see another disturbance that has showed up, I'm pretty sure, in the last couple of hours. As of 8 p.m. Eastern time, so 7 o'clock Central, you could see a vigorous tropical wave is producing a concentrated area of showers and thunderstorms, and environmental conditions are forecast to somewhat conducive for a gradual development of this disturbance over the next few days while it moves west to west-northwest. So that's basically towards the U.S., but it's so far out. But then by the weekend, conditions are expected to become less favorable. However, with this one, it's the exact opposite. The conditions are expected to go more conducive as we go on, but then that's what I was talking about right here. It can, right there, the system is forecast to move generally northward over the weekend and begin interacting with the frontal system on Sunday, which would limit any additional development. So this may develop into a tropical depression at most, I'm pretty sure. But again, did they see this coming 2 days ago? Not at all. So you are damn right that I will be here with you guys, updating you about this, and I will be basically on top of this, hopefully to keep you guys the latest updated. If you want to check this out yourself, this is National Hurricane Center. Just type that in and this will show up. You can see it's right there, a little bit cut off. It's right there, National Hurricane Center. Search that up and you will find it. Also, I want to go into the Eastern Pacific for a little bit, and you can see there's let's go to the Eastern North Pacific Ocean. So right there's Hurricane Fabio, and right now it is 110 miles per hour, and it's forecasted to become a major hurricane, and it's a Category 2 right now. So nothing too strong, but it is going to strengthen, and it is going to be, and the main thing of this, it's not going to impact any land of any sort, so there's not much to worry about. So this is really probably the best path it could take, and it will fizzle out further out into the ocean. So let's go now and to try further track this potential tropical wave, and basically where it is centered right now is right here, and we are on the wrong thing actually. I wanted to go on right here. So this basically shows you where a low pressure area forming. You can see the lows are marked in blue and the highs are marked in orange. You can see this area slightly in blue, and it continues to be right there. You can see a little bit of blue area, but it doesn't seem too significant. But again, there's always a chance this could, right there, you could see develop into a low. But right now the GFS, in my opinion, is underestimating this, and you can see that just dives out over there. And if we were wondering about the second little storm that is right now is off the coast of Africa, and as we go off into further on into the season, like say August to late July, September, more of these storms off of Africa will be coming off and forming eventually into little lows, and these lows may erupt into you can see it gets fairly strong, but again, it's not going to most likely impact any land in a major sense. And you can see there's another little wave coming off. There's another little wave coming off of Africa. There's another wave, and it just continues until if a hurricane actually occurs. So, or if something develops, and you could see it right here. This is our major concern right here because it's going to be pretty close to the shore right there. I'm right around there, and it goes spinning off into the northern Atlantic Ocean. So now I would want to show you the vorticity and spin, which is basically how much spin the system has in it, and the stronger the spin, usually the stronger the actual impacts are going to be. So now let's go to the CMC model, which is favoring this tropical storm development a little bit more. So let's go back to hour 0, which is now, and you can see this is the area where there could be something developing. There's some signs of some development. You could see right there is a thing, and the little disturbance, the wave, tropical wave, low pressure, whatever you want to call it at this point. And you can see it spins off into pretty potent little storm, but it doesn't seem to make any impact on land, but it could. And you can see right there, that's a cold front, and you can see these two things will be meeting right there, and the cold front will essentially shove this thing out of the way. And it does seem to be basically the savior for the East Coast, but again, I wouldn't think that this would develop into anything major anyhow. So this is not really a major threat. It's just something I wouldn't want to update you on because it has a chance of development. And we had seen a lot of these storms, basically these models, especially early on in the season, which now it's about mid-season, not the peak yet, not even nearing towards it yet, but we are nearing, but we're not in the peak, nowhere near. And basically these storms earlier on in the season tend to form right off the coast, and the models sometimes are really bad at handling that, and they don't necessarily see it, and all of a sudden this could spin up into a tropical storm and hit, say, South North Carolina or even Florida, anywhere along here. I remember, I think there was a tropical storm Sydney, I think that's what happened, tropical storm Emily a couple of years ago, or even last year, I'm not sure. Those similar stories. They were right in the Gulf, and then they just developed out of nowhere, and not many people were expecting it. So this is definitely a threat that we need to watch. I also would like to show you the European model, which is another forecasting system they use, a forecasting model, and you can see there's just a lot of untamed spin, untamed energy, and this eventually does get tamed by this little system. And you can see there's actually 2 of them according to this thing, which don't add up too much, but you can see they're kind of close to shore, so it's definitely something to watch for, and definitely something to be keeping an eye on for. So now I kind of want to go back and talk about the heat wave that will be, because I want to fit most of this information in a short little video. So you can see that southern central Minnesota is in an excessive heat watch. Temperatures are up to, I think, possibly up to, heat indices are going to be in the hundreds. Temperatures, I am not exactly sure if they're going to be hundreds. I'm pretty sure they're going to be high 90s though. Yeah, you can see 91, 82. That's I don't know. I think this is the end. I mean, excessive heat watch, it's in Minnesota, so again, their standards for excessive heat watch are much lower than further down south. I mean, 91 here in Chicago wouldn't qualify for an excessive heat watch, but there's a lot of heat advisories. I mean, we could see Chicago is out of it right now because there will be lake breeze cooling most of the areas off slightly, but you can see right now it's 85. Look out the window, it's beautiful weather, just like shown here, few clouds. And let's go here. You can see 89, 90, and then some cooler weather finally up to 74 to 78. But you can see Minnesota had 91 excessive heat watch. We have 91, and it's not even heat advisory. So the standards are different, but it just goes to show you how it differs between each city and its station. What are the exact circumstances? What are the certain qualifications that it needs to meet in order to form into a specific storm, heat wave, anything like that. So Now I'd like to go to back to the GFS model and go on temperature anomalies. So overall, it is going to be looking like a fairly warmer, above average temperature pattern. Sorry guys, I'm kind of stumbling. I'm really tired right now. And you can see there's going to be quite a bit of above average temperatures for the 4th and the 5th of July. So those parades, those fireworks shows, those parties, again, they will most likely be pretty hot across much of the country. However, there will be a couple of areas where it could be rain, cooled by some rain, but I would honestly prefer having hot temperatures, not warm temperatures and rain, because that is just bad for fireworks. But you can see cooler weather arrives for this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but then the heat intermingles again once more, and it becomes a little bit more averaged out. You could see it becomes a little bit below average, and then some days are above average, but still slightly above average. You could see that this is week 1, week 2 still above average, week 3, week 4, and then finally we could start developing some cooler weather, but that's already in August, and that gets iffy. But this is how it looks like from July 3rd to July 10th, much above average, and then it's cooler but still above average, and even cooler but still above average. So it just goes to show you how much of average these temperatures are across the eastern half of the country. If you're wondering what the actual temperatures are going to be, let's go back to the GFS, and let's go to 2 meter temperatures shaded, which basically shows you how warm the temperatures will be. Let's go back to current day now, and let's go to July 4th weather. So it's Wednesday. You can see this will be the peak right here, and 80s and 90s across much of the country. A few exceptions is the Northwest, where it will be cooler and usually is cooler, but you could see some rain-cooled areas like Houston could be receiving some rain. The Northeast Houston will be receiving the rain associated with that little disturbance that is happening right now across the Gulf Coast, and is shifting further west. So you can see the days are definitely going to be warm and hot, and then look, Montana takes its turn into the heat, 90s, 80s, 70s. So right now Montana seems, look at the heat in California, by the way. I mean, ridiculous. That is above 120, 130 degrees, and it definitely does seem to take a toll. But you can see, even though the temperatures are going to be below average in terms for some parts of locations, like if we go to 2 meter temp anomaly, you can see it below average, the blues. That doesn't mean that they are going to be cold. You could see still 70, 80s, so that is definitely not cold. Still very pleasant weather. It may cool down a bit. I mean, you can see during the nights it does start getting a little bit chillier. But again, how accurate is this? We don't know. And we might be in a pretty warm pattern for the next couple of days. So that is basically it, guys. I just wanted to give you an update on this. Again, if you want to see this, you got to go to National Hurricane Center. You could type in NHC and that will show up. You can see this one. 20% chance, 48 hours, but then it has definitely increased up to 50%, which is fairly high. And then formation through next 5 days of this one is 20. Same with 48 hours. So I have been making less videos overall, guys, because this has just, there's really has not been much to talk about. There's the tropics are quiet, the severe thunderstorms are just every day, and it's not really, I'm not really up to making a video every day about the same stuff in similar locations. So that is basically it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sorry that I stuttered so much this video. I'm pretty exhausted today, and see you guys in the next episode.